A solidarity initiative launched by the School of the Sisters of the Rosary in Beit Hanina, near Jerusalem, towards Khan Al Akhmar, near Jericho. There, in the middle of the desert, you can find the Jalim tribe and the Tyre school. The Church of Santa Maria Magdalena is one of the most beautiful sanctuaries in the Holy Land. Its architecture attracts tourists and pilgrims from all over the world. In Bethlehem, Chef Augustine combines Eastern and Western gastronomy. The chef has also prepared a special dish for Pope Francis. A workshop in Tel Aviv, the art of violin making and the story of Amnon Weinstein. The violin speaks when it can be played. This is how the violins of the Shoah came back to life. A solidarity initiative was launched by the School of the Sisters of the Rosary in Beit Hanina, near Jerusalem, towards Khan Al Akhmar, near Jericho. There, in the middle of the desert, you can find the Jalim tribe and the Tyre school. The pupils went to meet this community of Bedouins, or desert dwellers, an ethnic semi-nomadic group living mainly from animal husbandry and hay production. To welcome visitors, a warm welcome was organized. "Welcome," sang the little ones in Arabic. The children of the School of the Sisters of the Rosary brought with them typical foods such as falafel, kaik, hummus. They arranged a big breakfast, and much more than that, they brought presents and joy to the children of the Tyre school. This is not the first initiative of our school. We have several social activities aimed at social interaction and integration of local community students, and this is also a message of solidarity with the Bedouin community of the Khan Al Akhmar school. About 160 children attend the Tyre school, whose name comes from the material it was built with, a community that lives in a complicated situation. We visited the place and we closely checked its needs. The most important thing we did for Khan Al Akhmar school was to provide solar power, because unfortunately the school has no electricity. The school has been around for 10 years and every year we open new classes. We are happy with this initiative, with these children who come to visit our students, thus knowing their real suffering in a place where there is neither water nor electricity. We came here on humanitarian grounds to see how the children live in Khan Al Akhmar. And in contrast to this sad reality, smiles and hope are painted on every little face. And it is wonderful to see that there is no room for differences. Muslims and Christians are together. These children have just met and are already playing together. It was a pleasant experience. I've seen that the pupils live in a very simple way. This is one of the most beautiful experiences we have had because we shared with the children the simplicity of childhood, eating and playing with them. It was a beautiful experience. We sat with them in class. It was nice to share with them this simple atmosphere and to make them feel that we are united. A beautiful and holy place where you can even hear the voices of the angels. It is the church of Santa Maria Magdalene, which overlooks the hill of the Mount of Olives and is also very close to the Garden of Gethsemane.
This church was built in the 19th century by the children of the late Empress Maria Alexandrovna, the wife of Alexander II, Emperor Alexander II. She passed away in 1880. The next year, her children were visiting, and the head of the mission at that time, Father Antonin Kapustin, gave them the idea to build to purchase this land and build a church here in honor of their mother, and they did so.
The church has 7 golden domes which reflect the splendor of the old city of Jerusalem. It houses the mortal remains of the martyr Saint Barbara and the Grand Duchess Elizabeth Feodorovna, who dedicated her life to the poor and the sick until she was arrested and killed during the Bolshevik War. The church contains some of the relics of Saint Mary Magdalene kept in a special wooden box.
Elizabeth, who became Orthodox after the consecration of the church here, which she was very touched with the services and the fact of it was in Jerusalem, and soon after that she became a Russian Orthodox Christian. Soon after her husband's death, she sold all her jewelry and all her things, and she took monastic orders and opened a convent in Moscow, the Mary Martha Convent. In 1918, after the revolution, she was arrested, as with all the members of the royal family. The next day, Elizabeth, Barbara, who lies here, was thrown into a mine shaft, and grenades were thrown in to kill them, not only them, but also other members of the royal family.
The church is visited by countless pilgrims from all over the world, especially from Russia, Romania, and American countries. Here, about 40 consecrated nuns serve the Orthodox liturgy according to the Russian tradition. The mission of the Russian Church serves the people in its entirety, and its various institutions are still present in Palestine.
The Russian ecclesiastical mission exists in Palestine since the mid-19th century to help accommodate the many thousands of pilgrims that were coming from Russia. There are other churches, and there were many hospices, hospitals, schools. There were over 100 schools that were opened under the auspices of the Russian ecclesiastical mission that served the Orthodox Palestinian faithful.
Chef Augustine grew up in an environment which combines mixed flavors of Arabic and Spanish cuisine. While his mother was busy making a plate of tortillas, his grandmother would cook the Palestinian maftoul, a handmade couscous. Augustine began his profession after graduating from the Notre Dame Center Cooking School in Jerusalem. Over time, he developed a distinctive gastronomic expertise, combining East and West cuisine. His interest was enhanced by his participation in several international courses in Spain, Italy, and France. The experience and skills of this chef made him an exceptional cook, allowing him to cook dishes for very important people. And during Pope Francis's pilgrimage to the Holy Land, from the 24th to the 26th of May 2014, Shom Ali was selected to join a team of talented chefs to prepare a special dish for the Pope and the delegation accompanying him. When the pilgrimage of His Holiness to the Holy Land was planned, the Latin Patriarchate of Jerusalem asked us to prepare the formal dinner for Pope Francis in the Patriarchate. We were a group of local chefs. We spent many hours together studying the selection of special dishes, as the event itself required special attention. Today we are making the same dish we offered the Pope. The main dish was the Palestinian makloubeh, cooked with aubergines, cauliflower, potatoes, onions and mutton, all of which was accompanied by a modern European touch. We cooked it like an Italian risotto, with the addition of cream and cheese. We made dinner and waited to meet His Holiness and take a picture with him. However, the dinner was delayed for safety reasons. The delegation stayed longer than expected in the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. They later apologized for the fact that Pope Francis would not meet us. We were disappointed, but also surprised by the Holy Father's determination to meet us, to express his thanks, and to take a picture with us before he had to
على
leave.
جنب الكوريدور وهو طالع رفض وقف واخذ الصوره معنا واخذنا صوره معه.
Augustine strives to offer Palestinian specialities to which he adds particular flavors, thus gaining the appreciation of the Christians of the Holy Land, especially during Lent. Whether it's maple, spruce, or ebony wood, in this Tel Aviv workshop you can breathe a very special air. In this narrow space you can find not only the knowledge of an art, that of violin making learned in Cremona, Italy, but also a story to be told. In this city there was a wedding, and at that time weddings lasted 3, 4, even 5 days, and were accompanied by violin music and other instruments. Here my father fell in love with the sound of the violin. Amnon Weinstein, born in 1939 in Poland, preserves not only the ability to make violins, but also a constant desire to play again the violins that accompanied the destinies of many during the Shoah.
Non volevo toccare questa roba per anni perché avevo paura.
I had no intention of touching this stuff for years. I was afraid. I lost almost 400 members of my family. This collection is now divided into 4 parts: violins, violas, and cellos that belong to the Israeli Philharmonic. Then there are violins that the Jews played in the fields, in the ghettos, in the streets that led them to the gas chambers. Of these we know a lot. We know the history of the family. We have photos of these people. We have the books they wrote. We have comprehensive information. Then we have the violins that we know exactly are from the time of war, but we have no evidence. Finally, there are violins like this guy. Finally, there are violins like this guy, with the Star of David.
Tipo di questo, che ce l'ha una stella di Davide.
The Violins of Hope. This is the project of the Israeli luthier, which in his words have a story to tell, come from all over the world, and once restored are entrusted to the hands of great violinists and to the ears of the public around the world.
Ogni violino come una persona, ce l'ha una storia. I violini non sono come altri mobili, loro suonano al concerti.
Each violin is like a person. It has its own story. Violins are not like other objects. They play at concerts, and when people can listen to them, each violin has its own story to tell. The first violin I found before the project, because I was afraid, very afraid, played at Auschwitz on the road to the gas chambers. He told many things. He went back to Israel. He saved himself. And he wanted his son to play the violin. He came to me and didn't want to touch the violin and asked me to repair it. Then he told me the whole story, and when I opened the violin it was covered with black dust, ashes, because it was played near the gas chambers.
Per riparare il violino. Allora mi raccontava tutta la storia. Quando ho aperto il violino è stato pieno di polvere nera, cenere, perché lui ha suonato vicino alla camera.
Shims, thickness, chain, resonance hole, inclination of the handle, varnish, sole, bridge, strings and bow, everything comes back to life in his hands. A sound that becomes almost magical thanks to the art of the luthier and the perfection of the violin.
Per me è un lavoro di tutta la mia vita adesso. Il violino parla.
For me it's a job. It's my whole life. The violin speaks when it can be played. Now it's a piece of wood. Now I can see something here, all the bad things. It was played in bad conditions, but I know it's starting to live. And when it's ready, it will be a marvel.
Adesso comincia a vivere. E dopo, quando sarà pronto, è una meraviglia.
The notes of these violins carry a message of hope and peace.